Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Passions Podcast, the podcast where we talk about the soap opera passions. I am your regular host, LeTara, back for part 2 of last week's episode with Maria and Laura.
Wow. Crickets.
Not the crickets. Not the crickets.
The air horn used to be below the applause, and now it's next to it. My whole thing got messed up on last.
Subliminal messaging. Crickets.
Crickets. No, my board the show got deleted on my very last episode of the last season. I had to add all the sounds back, but they got added back in different places. And I'm used to going like applause and the air horn, but it's this way now. So my bad, y'all. I didn't mean that.
That's okay.
All right. So before we get into the episodes, we're in part 2. We are talking about episodes 861 through 865, correct?
Yes.
Same old, yes. Before we get into the episodes, I want to say a quick shout out to all the patrons over on Patreon. Thank you to... Gotta load. Thank you to Muna Shay, Lisa, Zach, Sid, Sarana, Randall, Hannah, Camelia, Jeanette, Eric, Jamie, Fantasia, Sean, S, Larissa, Maria, Lisa A, Jessica Jean, Laura, Karen, Uche, Paige, Casey, Garange, Tom Bergeron, Daisy, Shane, Kelly C. Yes, Kelly C, Taylor Harris Crane, DJ, Kelly M, Rodo, Lisa R, Acacia, Natalie, and Andrew. Acacia, Natalie, Lisa, Acacia, Natalie, and Andrew R. And Rodo, I'll throw Rodo in there, are our newest patrons on Patreon. Thank you all for continuing to be on, support the show. And if anybody else who's not a patron wants to sign up, go over to patreon.com/passionspodcast and sign up for whatever tier you find most agreeable. We do have some virtual events coming up soon. We have, as soon as it loads, I'll tell you, we have Monday, September 5th, a watch party, another watch party on September 25th. On October 16th, we have another watch party, and on October 30th, we will be having our Halloween party, which is always a lot of fun. We dress up. Last year I was Sam when I had on the tie, and I was Luis when I didn't have on the tie. And good. Before that, I was Tabitha. Did you do Gwen again last year, Maria?
Probably.
Because I know you did. I remember you did Gwen the first time we did the Halloween party, the red dress and the baseball bat, which was hilarious and great.
And the blonde wig.
Last year, Eric was Alistair, and he just had his hand on the camera with just like a bunch of props, and it was so good. I took pictures. Everybody had great costumes. We had a really great time. We played games, so you don't want to miss it. Come and join the Patreon and hang out with us. And with that, on with the show, people. Really big show. So, did I miss anything? I really do feel very rusty. I 5 or 6 episodes in after a break, I really pick up my momentum again. But when the very first 1 or 2 back, I'm just like, are there other things I'm supposed to say or do? But I think I got it all.
No, I think you got it. You did it.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So we're gonna jump right in to Shuis this week, y'all. Let me just say this. I hate Antonio. Now, y'all heard me last week talk about how much I hate Ethan.
Mm-hmm.
I really hate Ethan. Y'all have heard me talk at length about how much I hate Antonio. In fact, this button,
oh brother, this guy stinks,
was originally just for Antonio. I clicked that specifically for him, right?
Yes.
I will say, I think I hate Ethan more than Antonio now. I'm saying it. There, I said it.
I have seen Antonio for 5 episodes. And 5 episodes alone.
He didn't see you, though.
Good, because if he did, I would have decked him. I would have decked his sad, blind ass, and he wouldn't have seen it coming. That blind bitch. I could not. He is the saddest, most Eeyore-ass, pathetic person I have ever seen.
Laura, count yourself lucky that you have not seen the last 300 episodes of this show with him on it. He is insufferable. And what you don't know, which if you had seen the earlier things, you would hate him even more, because he rescued Diana or Sheridan from the ocean. And she had amnesia, and he projected just all of his feelings on her. He didn't want her to find out who she was, because he was like, she's gonna leave me. He was so awful. Oh my God. I can't even get into all of the weeds, but he cares about nothing and no one but Sheridan, but he only cares about her in a possession type of sense. Like he doesn't know her at all. He doesn't care about who she actually is. He just thinks she's beautiful, and that's what he loves about her. And he fell in love with her one single strand of hair on his mother's coat. When
that was between him and Luis. They would fight over the strand of hair that Pilar would bring home, and had a strand of Sheridan's hair, and they fell in love with the hair, and they would fight over
this little girl. He didn't know the little girl, but she just had the most beautiful strand of hair.
I fucking can't stand him. I hate him so much. The one thing that I found really enjoyable was how quickly I was like, oh, he's dying. Great.
Girl,
I was on board for that.
Not fast enough.
Not fast enough. He did a lot of talking. He had like 3 whole arias between lots of requests, lots of little speeches. I can't stand this man.
Okay. So, yeah, I agree with everything you said, and I'm so glad. Bitch, I am giddy that you hate him.
Yeah.
Giddy. Do you hear me?
Can't stand him.
No,
Can't stand his ass. Can't stand his ass.
I could not wait to find out how you felt about Antonio. I could not wait. I was like,
did you possibly think I could have liked him?
No, but I
guess I don't know any. Yeah, I don't know any of his backstory, so I totally get where you're like, oh, maybe she won't hate him as much as I. I hate him with such vitriol, and I saw him again for five episodes. I was like, this sad sack. Fuck this guy. I hate him. I hate how white he is. And like, he's not even a little bit Latinx. Like,
get this.
Smidges of smidges.
Get this. When he left, so you know he's been like he's the long lost brother. Remember there was a brother. Yeah. He just fucked off. Just let's be clear. He just left town. There was something about the Cranes, but we don't know exactly what it is. But he just left and like never called, never sent a postcard, nothing. Okay.
So he knew who he was the whole time. He just didn't contact his family.
And when he left, he decided to change his name from Antonio to Brian.
So Brian and Diana fell in love.
Exactly.
Fell in love.
Yes.
Exactly.
I hate him. I can't stand him. And I'm glad he's dying. The end.
Girl, not fast enough. And I'm gonna tell you this because you're in and out. This man does not die. He never died.
I mean, I figured he wasn't going to. I figured he's not going to because they're dragging it out so much, and he's the long lost brother, and this causes issues between Sheridan and Luis. So I was like, ugh, they're gonna keep his ass around. I can't stand him.
Can't stand him. Can't stand him.
I can't stand him. I also love the introduction of Liz, who I believe is Eve's sister.
Yes. Do not get her. Don't get LeTara started on the rewrite.
I won't get you started on the rewrite, but because they were all in like the same like scenes and stuff, and I was like, okay. So I know that we'll save her for later, really.
We will talk all about. I definitely. These are the characters I wanted to get your opinion on because you have never seen them before. So yes, I wanted to hear how you felt about Antonio. I was very interested to hear how you felt about Antonio. I knew how you were going to feel about Ethan, but I wanted to know how you were going to feel about Antonio, especially with him like dying, and there's like it seems sad, you know. Somebody somewhere might have some sympathy for him.
It doesn't seem sad because everyone in the room who should have sympathy for him is just there being like, can we hurry this up?
Yeah, die already, buddy.
Except for his mother. She's the only one that's like, no.
Yeah, Pilar.
Pilar is in such an awkward position though, because she knows everything, and then she's okay, let's get into it.
Okay, so Shuis, Sheridan and Luis are like outside having this same old conversation. Sheridan, we have to tell my brother it's not fair to him. He needs to know that we are in love, and Antonio, he can handle it. Sheridan saying, no, he's dying. Do you want me to kill your brother? Do you want to kill your brother, Luis?
And he's like, yes, I do.
He's like, I mean, here's what I'm going to say, something that Laura doesn't know, so I'm going to bring her up to speed on this. Antonio had this exact day, this same day, Antonio blindsided Sheridan with a wedding that she did not want. He just gave her a surprise wedding. They did not get married. She managed to kind of get out of it. Well, the elevator shaft incident happened, and Luis had to go back to Harmony, and they all went back to check on Ethan and Teresa and everything. But
so she as Diana was engaged to marry Brian before she got her memory back and everything.
Yes.
Okay.
And then when she got back,
he gave her a nut.
He gave her a nut. He nutted on her hand.
You know what? I've had a few nuts in my day as well, and yet I remain unmarried.
He gave her like a little nut bolt thingy, not a
because
bolt,
he's like a mechanic kind of thing. So
he's not. He's bullshitting.
So I thought you meant like a cashew.
No, he's a race car driver. That's how he ended up in this mess in the first place. So yes, they fell in love and got engaged or whatever. But the minute she came back to Harmony. First of all, she's been back to Harmony a couple of times. She didn't get her memory back. It was all very stupid and irritating. All of those Diana episodes were fucking annoying. You are blessed to not have had to endure them. Horrible. But when Sheridan came back to Harmony, even though she had been back a couple of times and didn't have any memory, she saw Luis, even though she had been having memories of Luis the entire time. She was calling him her dead lover. She thought he was dead because she had one random memory of, I believe it was when they were in the Crane archives and they ran out of air, and she thought that he was dead, but he didn't die. And so the whole time she was on the island, she just was like, oh no, my dead lover, my lover, my dead lover. It was constant. So she never forgot about him. She was always in love with him, but Brian was like constantly in her ear, like, you need to move on. I love you. I'm here.
He was so jealous.
So yeah, just to give you a little backstory on how horrible Brian is / Antonio. And what was going on with Sheridan / Diana the entire time she had her amnesia. She didn't remember her name. She didn't remember where she was from. She didn't remember anything about herself, but she remembered Luis. She just couldn't remember his name, right? She had all of her memories of him, all of them. And so,
because they love each other.
Yeah, because they love each other a lot. Yeah. And so fast forward to, they get back to Harmony. Get this. She sees Luis, suffers another bout of amnesia, but is like in reverse.
Yes. It's like a double amnesia or something.
She remembers Luis immediately forgets where she was, who, like, what they were calling her, Diana. She forgets about Brian, all of it. He asked her, like, where have you been? And she's like, I don't know.
Yeah. It's Diana left the building, Sheridan showed up. It was like two separate people. Yeah. And they couldn't remember each other.
Yeah. So we're going to wait for Laura.
Oh, and the second she sees him, she fucks him.
Yeah. Immediately, they go right to bed.
As if they picked up, like, if they left off, nothing changed. They went straight in the shower. They did it on the couch. All over the
cottage.
They
did it in the mansion. They did, like, they
in the mansion.
Had so much sex. Before she remembered that she was engaged to Luis's brother, and she figured it out, and she was like, wait a minute, because in her mind, she was like, yeah, there's a fuzzy memory of a man and a woman, and they were a really nice couple. And she was thinking about Antonio / Brian and Liz, which that's a whole other thing. That's a whole other thing. But
I was under the impression, I was like, so Sheridan and Antonio obviously had something, but prior to her, it was him and Liz.
Yes, and they have rewritten this to make it seem like Liz is the one that couldn't commit to him, but I pulled clips a couple of weeks ago because I was so incensed by this, because that was one of the things that about Antonio that I hated the most. Liz owned the resort where Antonio was working and where he basically had brought in Sheridan to fuck her at Liz's fucking resort, even though he knew Liz was like in love with him. They had a relationship. She nursed him back to him. He was even on, the only reason he was even on the island was to do like this special rehab because he had gotten into a really bad accident, and she nursed him back to walking. She got him walking again. And then he just used her and abused her hospitality, and then brought another person on to freeload off of her, and then just decided, you know what, this is my woman, I love her, I'm going to be with her. And so the Passions writers have rewritten it as if Liz is the one who had rejected him, but he literally talks about how it was never serious with Liz. He talks about basically being a gigolo. Yeah, he does. Yes. So I just wanted to bring you up to speed because you don't hate Brian or / Antonio enough yet.
I don't hate him enough. I don't hate him enough, but that definitely helps. Yeah, I just hated him because he was like so desperately pathetic.
That is the next section of like the next part of Antonio that made me hate him even more, right? Is like he has no real personality. His whole personality is Sheridan's so beautiful. I can't believe a beautiful woman like Sheridan's the love of my life, and she loves me and no other man. She has forsaken all other men. An actual quote. Yeah. She has forsaken all other men for me. Like,
she has forsaken all other men
for him. So let's get into what's happening currently. Like I said, Sheridan and Luis are having the same old conversation. Luis wants to tell Antonio the truth. Sheridan doesn't, because she's like, he's gonna die. Actually, we can't get into what's happening now. I have to talk about what the fuck Eve did. So Eve is every doctor, as we know. So she, of course, is Antonio's doctor. And when he got back to Harmony, he started having like these like fainting spells or whatever. So he went to the hospital. She ran a bunch of tests. The test came out that he has some sort of condition that is terminal. We don't know what it's in his brain. Whatever it is in his brain. And maybe it's the RFK brain worm. Oh, worm. We don't know.
Maybe it's a worm.
Yeah, it's a parasitic worm.
But much like RFK, he refuses to drop dead from it. So so anyway, Eve did not tell him that he was like terminally ill, but she told everybody else. Okay, she told everybody else that he was terminally ill and that any shock could kill him. He can't take the shock. Any shock will kill him. Okay. So now he does know that he's sick. She finally told him after a long time that he's sick, because she was like, oh no, it would be detrimental to his health if I told him. It's like, but you told everybody else. I know there's laws against this. And so yes, any shock will kill him. That's why Sheridan's so worried about telling him the truth about her and Luis, because she thinks it'll be a death sentence for him. However, we've seen him handle several shocks at this point, like a lot. In this night alone, Sheridan was running around town crying and screaming and like, I can't do this. And he's like chasing after her, trying to figure out what the fuck is wrong with her, because Luis had broken up with her, because he was like, girl, you know what? You've chosen my brother. I can't do this. This is killing me. Because well, anyway, they keep getting physical. Antonio and Sheridan are also getting physical, and she quote tries to keep him off of her, but not good enough, to be honest.
They technically haven't actually had sex though.
They haven't had sex, but they're still like, he's trying and kissing and doing all the things that lead up to sex.
Yeah, but forcefully. It's really uncomfortable.
It's extremely uncomfortable. Another reason to hate Antonio, to be honest.
Yeah, because she'll say like, no, and he's like, but come on, and pull her into the shower, and she's like, no, and he's insistent, and it's gross.
No, we hate him. We hate him, girl.
I hate him.
Yeah.
We hate him.
Yeah.
I hate him.
So yes, this night alone, he has withstood several shocks. In fact, finding out about Teresa falling down the elevator shaft, all of that, the baby dying.
The baby
dying. He was there.
And he's just fine.
But
it goes to show he cares more about Sheridan than all of that.
Yeah. He's
because he doesn't care about anything but himself. He sucks.
Yeah, that's it. He doesn't care about anything but himself. I hate him.
I hate his ass.
Yeah.
So
anytime they get close, he gets the brain freeze.
Yeah,
of course.
He gets these brain freezes. He only recently, oh my God, he went temporarily blind a few weeks back when he saw Sheridan and Luis. He was in the window watching them have sex, but then he went blind. So then it was like he didn't see it, right? Like from the viewer standpoint, it looked like he saw them, but in the show, he went blind before he could actually see them together.
I see.
The same thing has happened tonight, basically, wherein they handed him this fucking scrapbook that Sheridan had made just in case she ever died before her and Luis got married. She got this book bound of all their memories or whatever, but it was like specifically like, this is just in case I die young. Anyway, that was how they were going to break the news to him. He opens the scrapbook, immediately goes blind. So he didn't see what was in the book. I think we go over that.
Take him to the hospital either. No one takes him to the hospital. He goes blind the first time, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm fine."
He refuses. He
doesn't go to the hospital. I'm like, "Dude, you went blind." It's like, if something really bad happens, I'll go to the hospital. You went blind.
He refuses.
Take yourself to the ED immediately. You go blind.
He kept this night. He has been fainting, having these brain freezes, and falling all over Harmony because he was chasing Sheridan around the town. And he kept like, Sheridan, and then falling down. And he refuses to go to the hospital.
Look, I believe it was Eve who said, let Sheridan help Antonio die. And I never felt anything so deeply in my life. I was so aligned with that serial killer. I was like, yes, Eve.
He is a
Come
serial
on,
killer.
Eve. Let Sheridan help Antonio die. And this was like 5 minutes into the first episode. I was like, all right, we're in for a good one.
Yeah, it's a lot. Okay, so now we can get into the current episode.
Yeah.
Okay, so I actually really love kind of rehashing the old shit. It lights a fire in my belly, about this. So Sharon and Louise having the same old conversation. Liz inserts herself and she insists to Luis that he let Antonio be happy with Sheridan in the little time that he has left. And Luis tells her, why don't you take him? He says, why don't you take him? He'll be happy with you. You're good enough. And she's like, well, he only loves me as a friend. I'm not the one he wants to be with right now. My time with Antonio is past. I had my chance. I blew it. Bullshit. No, she didn't. He loves Sheridan now, and the kindest, most caring thing that we can do is back off. And she says, it's just for a little while, Louise. Let Sheridan help Antonio die. Yeah. So it was Liz that says that.
It was Liz, my apologies.
Let the other sister, let Sheridan help Antonio die. And Louise says, no, Sheridan isn't a gift that I'm going to give to any man. Okay, all right. And Liz is like, your brother is dying. And Louise says, not for a month, for a week. And not for one night. I can't do it. So, and I want to say a couple weeks ago, Luis was like, we don't know when Antonio's going to die. It could be tonight, but it could be 10 days from now. It could be a month from now. It could be 10 years from now. Is that what you want, Sheridan? He's not wrong.
No, he's not wrong.
And that's when he broke up with her because he's like, I can't wait for you. I'm sorry.
Which honestly, I get. I don't love the whole like she's gonna be a gift for another man kind of thing, but misogyny.
Oh, you know what? I actually took it because Luis has said similar things, kind of like, but it wasn't it was kind of the opposite of like she's a possession. It was very much like she's not like something I'm gonna give to somebody. You know what I mean? That's how I took it, because he said that a few times, because everybody else is telling him, just let Antonio have her for now. Just let Antonio have, and he's like, she's not something I can give to him.
Yeah, I see. Yeah,
you know. Yeah. So I'm gonna give him a pass on that for now, because he has been very consistent in that recently, and I have really appreciated that about Luis.
I was probably hearing it wrong or reading into it wrong just because of, you know, everyone else being awful.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So then Liz asks Luis if this is payback for Antonio leaving their family. She's like, is this you wanting revenge? And it's like, girl, you're just projecting what you want onto him, right? Right. And Luis says, no, I'm not out for revenge the way that you are, Liz. Because Liz is like, I hate my sister and I'll do anything to get my revenge on her. And Luis is like, well, that's fucking weird. I'm not. He's like, and I'm not weird. I would never wish death on my brother. I just don't want him to be fucking my fiance.
Yeah.
Like, why isn't anybody getting this?
Yeah, he's like, this is not the same thing at all. Like, I don't understand why I have to explain it to you umpteen times. But yeah, I don't want my fiance marrying my brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Out of pity.
Out of pity. Because she made her choice and she chose Luis.
Yes. And I also want to state as well that Luis has actually been advocating for Antonio to know the truth the entire time, not only about him and Sheridan, but about his diagnosis. Yeah. He's like, he has consistently said, my brother would not appreciate being left out of the loop like this. And being treated like some helpless invalid. He's like, he deserves to know the truth. It's not fair to him.
He can take it.
He can take it. And Eve, and we've talked about this, Eve can give him a sedative to ease it, and he could just be high when they tell him, and he could just be fine.
My idea was, okay, why don't y'all have Eve admit him to the hospital? He clearly needs to go. Have her admit him to the hospital, dose him up with a little something. Y'all break the news to him while he's under hospital supervision, right? Yeah. And it's done. It's done and over with. But no, they're like, you're killing your brother.
We could just kill him and get it over with too, honestly.
Unfortunately, Pilar wouldn't go for it.
No, yeah. Pilar.
That's true. Pilar.
She's all about this. She's all about her ungrateful son who left her to die and gave no thought to her for many, many years at all. Didn't even think to call her, but you know,
abandoning the family so that she had to go work at the Crane Mansion. They had to move out of the cottage because they used to live in that cottage, in Sheridan's cottage.
That one bedroom. They didn't. It's better that they have a bigger house, though.
They need a house. Yeah, it's a whole family.
But her commute was better.
The commute. Now she has to take the bus.
Yeah.
So anyway, Luis says, no, I'm not out for revenge on my brother. I would do anything to save my brother's life. But not just hand over Sheridan to him for what? Like, no, I'm not doing that. And then that's when Sheridan comes outside again, and Eve and Liz leave them together to have some privacy. And they go back and forth about the same old thing. Luis says, we have to tell Antonio. Sheridan doesn't want to. Inside, Liz has a conversation with Eve wherein she basically blames this entire situation on Eve.
It's crazy. She's like, I should be back on St. Lisa's living a charmed life with this man, but because you betrayed me, I've never learned how to love and all this other. It's like,
I also want to say multiple times in this week, Liz says to Eve, Antonio's a good person, unlike you. Antonio is a good person, not like you. He doesn't deserve this. He's a good person. You're a bad person. And the what Liz has taken issue, like what her issue is with Eve, is that Eve left her alone. She left the family and she didn't look back, basically, and quote, abandoned the family. Now, who else did that?
Does his rhyme? Does his name rhyme with Schmantonio?
Sure does. Antonio did they did the exact same thing, except except Eve went off and became a doctor. This one, Antonio went off and became a gigolo.
Well, but Liz doesn't know that because when she did leave, she was a drug addict. She was a singer. Like, she was living an unsavory life.
But clearly she didn't continue that. She's a doctor.
No. Yeah,
She's
now
a
she's
doctor,
a doctor.
right.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, married, 2 kids. She's actually not a doctor, guys. She's the doctor.
The doctor.
She's the doctor.
She's
Doctor
every
of the
doctor.
year 1999.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So, yeah, you can see with your eyes what she has accomplished and done with her life, and that she's turned her life around. But no, no, Antonio absolutely cannot. So, yeah, Liz's whole issue with Eve irritates me. I do know that there's more to the story, but Eve has no clue about that. She doesn't know. She doesn't know anything about it. So she wasn't there. It didn't have anything to do with her.
It had nothing to do with her. And she offered to take Liz with her. There was a flashback, and she's like, "Come with me, come with me."
Now,
and Liz was like, "No."
To be fair,
you chose to stay.
To be fair, Eve was high as hell and telling her to come to a party, and it's like, come on, it feels good. Like, yeah, I mean, Liz was right to turn her down, right? Like, ultimately, at that time,
she could have been a doctor too.
She could have been a doctor too. All she had to do, well, you know what? Well, no, we already talked about that. All she had to do was get pregnant and then have Alistair pay for her college or whatever. Or Crane pay for her to go to school. That's what Eve did.
Worked for her.
Unfortunately, you know, that whole thing was so sad. But anyway,
I do love during this conversation, Liz speaks with such like fire. I actually really enjoyed her character, even though I just her delivery was like really. I don't know. Like I said, it was fiery. It was great. But at one point, she looks at Eve dead in the eye, and she says, "I'm praying when God takes Antonio, the devil takes you."
Yeah.
Like, okay, girl.
No, Liz has nothing but hate in her heart for Eve. Nothing.
She's pissed.
Nothing but hate in her heart, praying on her downfall completely. So I have in my notes here to cut to trouble marriages notes after that. So we're going to deal with that in trouble marriages, the rest of their conversation. So At one point, Pilar is on the couch comforting Antonio, and she says, I'm praying to God that you will regain your sight. And then he responds, as long as I have Sheridan in my life, it's as if I can see.
Oh my God. Blech.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
I hate him. It's as if I could see. I hate him. So this is when Luis and Sheridan come back inside. We do the same old runaround as if we're going to tell Antonio something. We tell him nothing. And we've been doing this for months. I'm sick of it.
Yeah.
And then Antonio tells them, so what happens is Luis is like, we have to tell you something. And Antonio's like, okay, but can it wait? I'm dying, so I have to talk first.
Oh my God.
No, LeTara, that is exactly what happens. He's like, I know you all have things that you want to tell me, but with my limited time on Earth, I'm going to speak first. Like, I fucking can't with this man.
Oh my God. No, and his obsession with Sheridan, because he's like, I'm only good when Sheridan is near.
He says, I know, yuck. He says, there's something important I want to discuss before you speak, right? He's like, and then he goes on to say that since he's dying and he has so little in the way of possessions, all he can leave them with is his love. That's what you had to tell us? I don't have anything to tell you, but I have nothing to leave you but my love. Oh my God, seriously. And they've been trying. Let me say this also, Laura. We gathered here. The reason everyone is gathered here is specifically to tell Antonio the truth. right? Like
that's why Eve's there. That's why everyone is there.
Luis gathered all of these people for an intervention, including Antonio. Antonio knew he was there to be told something. He knows he's there to be told something.
Okay.
And the fact that every other time, this is why I think he's faking it a little bit. This is why sometimes I think he's living in a delusion and he kind of understands and knows what's going on, is because every other time something needs to be said to him or he's clearly been out of the loop, he's like, what is it? I want to know. I want to know now, damn it. Tell me what's going on. Tell me what's going on. Now, when they have thrown a party to tell you something, you don't want to know. You need
Suddenly
to speak
you
first.
have things to say.
Suddenly you need to tell everybody about how you're going to leave them your love and no money and nothing else, because you have nothing and you're a scrub just like Ethan.
Couple of scrubs. Are they in Sheridan's cottage? Where are they?
They're in the mansion.
That's the mansion.
They're in the mansion.
They're in the
that's
mansion.
Interesting. Yeah, they're in the mansion.
Because I've been trying to figure that out the whole time.
You know what? It just occurred to me. They're in the living room in the mansion. This is why all the Ethan and Teresa stuff was happening in the atrium, or whatever they call that. The solarium. The solarium, and in Julian's bedroom. It just occurred, because you said, are they in the mansion? I thought, no, Teresa and Ethan and them are in the mansion. But no, they're all in the mansion. Everybody's at the mansion.
Everyone's at the mansion.
Well, I was wondering, because I was like, Pilar got over to talk to Teresa so fucking fast after everything happened. I was like, they must be in the same
right
space.
in the living room.
But then I was like, there's no way that they're all in the mansion, but they are. Okay.
But they are. But they are.
Yeah.
They are.
The only one's not there is the incestuous couple.
Yeah.
They're not there.
Yeah.
They'll be brought up to speed next week. We'll get a whole recap on those too. So yeah, he says, all I can leave is my love. And then he says to Luis again, because we already did this. We spent like 10 episodes on this. We already did this, where he's like, Luis, I want you to take care of Sheridan after I die. Will you do that for me? And Luis says, like, yeah, I already said I would, right? Like, we already talked about this. But and even though Luis kind of answers, it's like not good enough for Antonio. And he's like, no, I can tell that you have some reservations, and I know what that's about. It's because of who Sheridan is, a crane. And I know how much you hate the cranes, but Sheridan's not like the rest of them. Yeah, you're the one who hasn't been here. We've been here. We fucking know Sheridan. You're the one who hasn't been here. The fuck?
And he's acting like she isn't an independent person, too. It's like, please take care of my puppy when I die, because there's no one around and the puppy can't fend for itself.
As if Sheridan, motherfucking Princess Diana Crane, doesn't have enough cash and wherewithal and intelligence and beauty to walk this earth alone. I mean, come on.
She can fly a plane.
Yes.
Yeah, she's going to be just fine without...
I'll tell you this. They've made Diana the antithesis of Sheridan. This bitch, quite literally, could not walk and carry a tray of water at the same time.
Yep. She couldn't do that. She was a
do
waitress
anything.
and was the worst waitress ever.
So that's partly why Antonio thinks she's so helpless.
She couldn't do anything.
He's in love with Diana, the helpless woman.
He's in love with Diana, and Diana was practically an infant. So I'm gonna say that. But Sheridan is not. Sheridan is not.
No.
So and we're glad to have Sheridan back, because fuck Diana, I couldn't stand that bitch. Welcome back, Sheridan.
Yep.
Yeah. So Luis starts to answer Antonio, saying, actually, there's something I need to tell you. I want to tell you. He cuts him off again. Antonio cuts him off again and calls for Beth. He's like, Beth? Beth? Are you here, Beth? Which we need to leave Beth out of everything, but you know what? Antonio believes, which you, I'm sure, gleaned, believes that Luis and Beth are engaged to be married and they're going to be together.
Yeah. It also took me way too long to figure out that was Beth and her mother. It took me like 3 episodes. Like, I was watching and I was like, who the fuck are these? Like, it took me way too long. Way too long to figure out who these people were.
That's right, because she had longer hair when you knew her. She now has she has a mother now.
Yeah, she has the worst mother I've ever seen.
Horrible.
But
Edna.
hilarious. I love her.
Oh my God.
I love her quips.
Awful.
Edna is
But then,
awful.
So he calls Beth, Antonio calls Beth over and is like, Beth, and you don't need to be jealous of Luis and Sheridan because I know that you love him and I don't want you to worry because I've asked my brother to look after this woman because I love her and I know you understand love and I know you and Luis are going to get married and have children and have a wonderful life. But he's just spending time with Sheridan because I asked him to. And
As a favor to me.
what the
my
fuck?
God.
It was so overwrought. It was just so sad and pathetic.
Him all the time. That's him all the time. He constantly is making speeches like that.
And making decisions for people. Because what if Sheridan doesn't like Luis?
Right. And what
He's never even established that.
He just gives like amateur hour. You know what I mean? Like Antonio gives amateur hour.
Yeah.
Like through and through.
Yeah. So he does all of that and makes that whole performance about Beth. And God, the Beth of it all, we don't really have time to get into it. But just know that Beth is like, I'm not even going to say teetering on the edge. She's like gone over the edge at this point because she drugged Luis to try to make it seem like she drugged Luis and then assaulted him basically and had her curtains open. She knew that Sheridan was going to was headed to her house. And so Sheridan saw her like, quote, making love to Luis. And that's why Sheridan was like running around town screaming. And Antonio was like, what's going on? And like all of that. But Beth did that tonight.
Yeah, that was all tonight.
That happened in this night. And so just know that Beth is like in her obsession era of over Luis, and she's about to do like even more crazy.
Yeah, she did
stuff.
a K.
Yeah, she did a K.
She did a K.
Yeah, she did a K. So yeah. And they all got it from Ivy. So I called Ivy in one episode the final boss because she really is like
yes.
She is the final boss. She shows up, you think you killed her, and she just rolls in her fucking wheelchair.
It ain't over. It ain't over till it's over.
Yeah, like she evolved. Sorry, everyone.
Yeah, so he does that whole thing with Beth. Beth says, no, it's okay, I understand. And then he's like, Beth, you're more beautiful on the inside than you are on the outside, or some shit like that. Or you're just as beautiful on the inside as you are on the outside. And then Edna very slyly is like, he's more blonde than I thought. Oh, she's horrible. She's horrible.
She was making these like side comments to who I now know was Beth, and the whole time I was like, can everybody else see her? Is it like a witch that only Beth can hear? Like, I was like, what is going on?
Oh my God, that is so funny. An
I literally
apparition.
thought she was like a specter. It took me a
She
long
is
time.
the one Julian is referring to about, elderly people and their walkers. It's her.
And
Now I know, but
stuff.
at the time I was like, oh, it took me a while.
Yeah. It's
not a
horrible.
healthy relationship between
It's
her
extremely
and
toxic and it's
Barry.
horrible. We've talked about it at length about like, yes,
The
she's
elder
supposed
abuse
she's
and-
supposed to be this kind almost comedic, not almost, she's supposed to be like this comedic relief type character, but when you really scrutinize it even a little bit, it's just like the most heinous,
It's
horribly toxic
awful.
relationship between these two people. And so and Beth is I sincerely believe Beth is the way she is because her mother has been treating her like shit her entire life.
Yeah.
So anyway, and that's why she will accept crumbs from Luis and will accept the bare minimum, and even if he's in love with Sheridan and it's clear that he wants Sheridan, she will take him because that's the kind of love she feels she deserves.
She's just craving attention and craving intimacy because look how she gets treated at home.
Yeah.
And her own mother is her worst enemy, always
yes.
against her.
Yeah. And he's the only man who's ever, I think, has ever like really kind of
They
loved
were
her.
engaged to be together.
Yeah, they were engaged.
Get married.
They were engaged the second time too. To be clear, Luis and Beth got engaged while Sheridan was dead, right? Luis thought she was dead. He wasn't ready to really move on. He never should have proposed to her, to be honest, but he was being pressured and pushed by Hank and by Beth, honestly, in the direction of like, Sheridan's dead. You have to get over it. You have to get over it. Sheridan's dead. And he was having this feeling like, no, she's not dead. I can feel her. I can feel her. They had these connections. There was a whole Bermuda Triangle thing where they like were with each other in the Bermuda Triangle, like, because he was in the pool and she was in the ocean, and then like they were connected and they were together. Aww. There was a lot of connections that happened between them to tell us that these two people are like fated and they're very very much connected.
Yeah. Remember when she was dancing with like the ghost of him?
Yes. They danced together. She was in the gazebo. She showed up in the gazebo, and like they were together. He handcuffed her to him, but then she disappeared. But it was real. It was actually real because they both remember it. But he was convinced by Hank and his mom and Beth that that was just his grief. And so he's like, maybe I do need to move on. Like, Sheridan's not coming back. Beth's a great girl. She's been there for me this whole time. And I was going to marry her before. Why not do it now? Maybe it'll make me feel better. He was dealing with grief. I did get annoyed at him during that whole time, because I was like, bro, you do not need to be marrying anybody if that's the reason you're marrying them, is like. But
all the guys are doing that. Like, they just want to get married, and so they'll just marry anybody and settle instead of just being alone. And if anything, Beth should be upset at Antonio because he broke it off with her, and because he had to go take care of his family because his brother left.
Oh, right. Yeah. Sorry, my microphone was on mute. Yes, she should be with, but she's not. She's not upset with him. Not. But that's some of the backstory. I'm sorry. I just want to bring you up to speed.
No, it's good. It's good.
No, that's fine. But Luis did do the right thing the second he saw that Sheridan was back. He told Sheridan, I'll be right back. He didn't tell her where he was going, but he left to break up with Beth immediately.
He didn't think twice. He did not collect $200. He did not pass go.
Was it before the sex? Or did they already have the sex?
I think they had the sex, and then
they had the
sex.
The sex.
I think because I remember they definitely had sex immediately, and then he got an IM for Beth. That's the thing. He got an IM from Beth on his like work computer, and he was like, "Shit, Beth."
And he's like, "I gotta go. I'll be right back."
Yeah, and then that's when he was like, "I have to go. I
gotta do something." She doesn't tell her. He doesn't tell her that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he didn't tell her immediately that he had been engaged to Beth.
Yeah.
But it also, it was one of those things where I can allow it. It was one of those moments where I was like, I get what's going on here. He always loved Sheridan. There was never any realm where Sheridan comes back and he still stays with Beth. Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
which is why Luis is so upset with Sheridan, because he's like, I just broke up with Beth 2 seconds ago. You could break up with Antonio any moment now.
Yeah.
And he's still waiting.
But, the line is, he'll die. That's the line. And we have talked about how one of the things that we remember about Sheridan from early days is that she thought she was a murderess. And she has this, I think she has this, weird, like a guilt aversion, that she doesn't want to feel like I think she thinks she will be. I know that she believes that if she tells him and he drops dead, that it will be her fault and she will have killed him, right?
Yeah.
Even though it's the illness that's killing him.
Yeah, but she thinks, I killed my mother. I was responsible for my mother's death. I was responsible for that stranger's death. I was responsible for this person. Like, everyone around her that she loves dies. And I shouldn't laugh at that, but it's true. And so she feels, yeah, absolutely. I see both why Luis feels how he feels, and I see why Sheridan feels how she feels. And I just wish they could communicate that to each other instead of just talking around it.
I think they're at an impasse. I think that it has been communicated.
Oh, okay.
I think it has been communicated over and over again. And I think they're simply at an impasse. Sheridan refuses to tell Antonio the truth. I'm personally, as much as I hate to defend a man, I'm more on Luis's side than I am on Sheridan's because, like I've said, we've seen Antonio take multiple shocks. He's been fine. And then on top of that, she is leading him on, lying to him. And it's obviously hurting Luis. You have chosen Luis. You've told him you've chosen him. You love him. You have to make the choice. I'm sorry, you have to do the hard thing. Sometimes you have to do the hard thing, and Sheridan refuses to do the hard thing. So and it's like Luis doesn't want his brother to die either.
Yeah,
he doesn't want him to die. But I think I said this on another podcast. I do think that Luis has already grieved his brother, right? Because he was gone for so long. I think he has already grieved his brother, and that makes this decision for him very simple.
And he was angry at his brother for a long time, too. He hated his brother.
Yeah. And he also Luis is also very, very big on telling the truth. That's one of his like core tenets, right?
Yeah.
To be honest and truthful. So, and Sheridan, that's something Sheridan loves about him. So I'm more on the side of Luis, also because we've been doing this for so fucking long. Please, by all means, finish him. Finish him.
Finish him. Finish him. Tell him the truth.
Antonio tells Luis, see, there won't be any problems because of Beth's jealousy, Luis. She's fine with it. So now you're free to answer that you will take care of Sheridan. Luis tries to answer him again, and Antonio cuts him off again as Luis is trying to like talk to him. And he says, your reluctance has something to do with your, I already said this. I flipped these. Feelings for Sheridan, blah, blah, blah. I flipped those. He cut him off twice to do two asinine fucking things.
At some point, he keeps cutting Luis off. Like, it definitely seems like a delay tactic at some point, because then Pilar starts going through the family scrapbook.
No, okay, so
Antonio asks about it.
He's like, I can't see, but can you describe it to me?
Laura, here's what is going on. That scrapbook is the scrapbook that they were going to show him that Luis and Sheridan had been together before he met Sheridan. And when he opened it, he went blind and he couldn't see it. So now he's like, oh, what about that scrapbook? Are you going to show me what was that? And so they're like, oh, they lied to him and tell him it's like a family thing.
Right. Because the first thing that I saw was like an engagement announcement from a newspaper clip of Luis and Sheridan. And then Pilar is like, it's Miguel's 10th birthday. And...
Pilar, you should have been here for her.
Pilar,
you should have also been here for it.
Yeah, he should have been there. But yeah, Pilar, who doesn't lie, by the way, lies her ass off. So
Pilar is in such a weird position here because her long lost son has come back, and long lost for literally no reason other than he fucked off and couldn't be bothered to let anyone know that he was alive. And now he's back, but now he's in dire straits. He's extraordinarily ill. He's dying. But he and Luis, her sons, are in love with the same woman. And I mean, she is in such a strange position. I actually feel for her. I really do. And I wish she had shown some of the tough love she showed to Teresa, to her two fucking boys. No, not to her two fucking boys, to one fucking boy, to Antonio.
Antonio.
But that might kill him, and she doesn't want him to die.
And she doesn't want him to die. And I totally agree with you, Laura, that Pilar is absolutely is between a rock and a hard place. She's in a very tough position. But I also agree with your final thesis, which is she needs to show some tough love to Antonio. And particularly the fact that Luis has been here busting his ass all these years, putting himself last, right, to make sure that the family is okay. And you side, I know there's no sides, but you decide to really take Antonio's side and put him above Luis's feeling, his wants, his needs above Luis's wants and needs. It doesn't feel fair. But I understand that she is in a very tough position. She's wanted him to come back for so long. She's wanted this for so long, and now he's dying. So I get it. I do, but I also get Luis's frustration around it as well. I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. This is actually a rare moment or rare like story plot point in Passions that truly is complicated. Like it truly is complex. You know, the when you think about what the thoughts and feelings around this situation could and would be, it's like, yeah, you would have some kind of complicated feelings around your brother dying, who fucked off and is now back here with your fiance, but he also is dying and it might kill him if you tell him the truth. And the same for Pilar. It's like, this is my son I've lit a candle for every night for 15 years, right? And he's finally back. I got my prayer, but he's dying. I have limited time. Do I sully that time by, telling him the truth? But also, what about your Christian fucking values, Pilar? Pilar, hello?
What would Father Lonigan say?
Father Lonigan would tell her to keep lying to him.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you. Father Lonigan, you haven't been here for a while. Father Lonigan is damn near a villain in my eyes.
Oh,
like,
shit.
he has all the information all the time and does nothing.
We have two blind villains now in Passions.
We do. So anyway, and one day we'll talk about Father Lonigan too, but not today is not that
Not
day.
today.
So Antonio explains that Sheridan's different from the Cranes, blah blah blah. Luis finally gets to say, "Sure, I'll take care of Sheridan once." Once Antonio finally dies, he's like, I'll take care of Sheridan. Antonio then gives Luis the opportunity to tell him what he wanted to tell him, right? But look, at this point, Luis is like, it's nothing. And part of that is because everybody's looking at him like, no, don't tell him after all that. Because, of course, he's been giving his stupid fucking speeches about how much I love you all and I'm not long for this world. And
then he starts to apologize. He's like, because Luis is like, nothing, I have nothing to say. And he's like, well, that's good because I have more to say. And in fact, what I'd like to do is apologize to all of you. And he's like, and specifically to Sheridan. Because I didn't want anything to come between us. But now I am coming between us. It's like, oh my. It's at this point that I wrote like in all caps. I was like, this man goes in the most pathetic pity party. It's absolutely pathetic. Antonio sucks. I hate him so much. Like, I just.
Yes.
Oh
I hate this man.
I
hate this
we
man.
hate him. We hate him. I'm
horrible.
so glad you hate him too. I was like, God, I hope Laura hates him. I always love it when me and you hate all the same people. It's one of my favorite pastimes. Talking shit about other people.
Yeah,
we hate.
He's bad.
He's like, I have to come between us because in order to spare you the heartache of watching me die, I need to let you go free or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now we're starting this.
I was like, wait,
Then
so
he
he's
does
breaking
this.
up with her on his deathbed?
No, what really bothered me about this? So, yes, he goes on, he starts apologizing. He's like, Sheridan, I need to talk to you. I hate to put you on the spot like this or embarrass you, but remember the first night we were together. Starts talking about the first time they have sex in front of everybody. And she's
his
like,
mother.
Yeah, on the beach. Yeah, in front of everybody. Right? And he's like, and we made promises that we would never let anything come between us. And like Laura just said, and he apologizes for having to break that promise. But here's the thing. One of you was always gonna die. Like, that's best case scenario in any marriage. One of you will die before the other, most likely. Best case scenario, I guess, is that you just die together, like in the Notebook.
The Notebook, yeah.
Yeah, but 9 times out of 10, one of you's gonna go before the other. Sorry, that promise was bound to be broken. So, he goes on and on about how great Sheridan is, how much he loves her, and he finally says, "So I'm offering you a way out. I want to spare you the heartache of watching me die. I don't want you to hurt anymore." Now, if he really meant to give her a way out, he would not have done it in front of everybody. What does it look like for her to look at him in his eyes? For her to hold his hand and tell him, yeah, you know what, you are too sick. I'm gonna dead this right now.
Yeah,
I'm out.
But she says that later. She's like, "What do you want me to do? Go in there and say, hey, Antonio, I know things have not been so great, but now that you're blind with one foot in the grave, I'm out of here."
Yeah, exactly. And so, yeah, and how does that look to everybody? Pilar, his mother, right? Whom she respects, right? And so, and she wants Pilar to like her.
Yeah.
And
she wants to marry her other son.
Yeah. But that's the thing is like, yeah, he's doing it in front of everyone and it will look bad, but everyone knows that she wants to be with Luis. So, like, it might look bad, but they actually will know, like, yeah, this is the best case scenario. Because that is the best case scenario. Break up with her.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well,
Luis thinks it's great. It's like, this is great.
But the thing is that Antonio doesn't know that everybody knows, right? Exactly. So for him, from his perspective, he's putting her in a really shitty position where it's like, yeah, it seems to me, and I don't think that he is doing this intentionally. I think he's just shitty through and through, and so it just happens this way because of how he is.
Right. Yep.
But it's just like, yeah, like he is not aware that everyone knows everything. So he's putting her in this position where she can take the out, but only by making herself look so incredibly bad and evil.
Yeah.
So it's not really an offer. It's not really an apology. It's not really an out.
Yeah. He could have done this in private.
How great would it be if she actually did take him up on the offer and he's like, oh, fuck, really?
That would have been great.
That would have been fantastic.
I wish. I wish she took the out and then he just dropped dead immediately after.
Me too.
Maybe he's like, wow, Sheridan isn't who I thought I was.
Yeah.
Who I thought she was. Fuck her and stuff and move on. It's like, yeah, maybe she isn't so great, huh?
Well, so she says, he tells her to think about it. So she gets up, goes outside to think on it, and then Luis tells her, this is great. Luis is thrilled. He's like, this is great. This is exactly what we've been hoping for. Take the out, Sheridan. And Sheridan says, I can't abandon Antonio when he's dying. Am I just like Maria said, am I just supposed to walk back in there and say, hey, Antonio, things have been great so far, but now that you're blind with one foot in the grave, I'm out of here. And she says, Luis says to her, if you want to be with me, then you have to accept his out. And Sheridan says, he says, otherwise you're going to have to live with him until he dies. I don't want my brother to die. I love my brother, but if you share his bed with him just for one night, you know what that's going to do to us. I love you with all my heart, but if you live with Antonio, it's going to destroy everything we have. Is that what you want? They go round and round in circles about this for some time before going back inside with Antonio. Do you wish to unpack that statement at all?
She's already slept with his brother.
She has, but
she didn't know that she wasn't herself. She didn't know anything. But like that's already happened.
Like technically Sheridan hasn't slept with Antonio.
Yeah. Technically Sheridan hasn't slept with Antonio. Exactly. I also do agree, like she has already slept with him, but I think it's like that it doesn't wash because say you have an ex, right? And it's like, sure, I slept with my ex and I have a current boyfriend and then I sleep with my ex again. It's like, it's not just like, oh, well, I had already slept with him. So what does it mean? It's like, no, the circumstances have changed since the last time you slept with him. And so we're not doing that anymore. Right.
Right. Yeah.
And Antonio is kind of her ex. He just doesn't know it.
Yeah.
He just doesn't know that.
He just doesn't know. He thinks they're getting married.
Yeah.
He really does. He tried to force a marriage on her. That pissed me off so bad.
The surprise wedding.
So that same night, like an hour before, he tried to force a marriage on her. And now he's saying, oh, I'm the problem and don't let me come between our happy ending and blah, blah. Like, what? Yeah. It doesn't square.
Yeah. He sucks. He's the worst.
He sucks.
He's the actual worst.
Yeah, he's just trying. This is the epitome of when people are like, yeah, so-and-so plays the victim. He is the epitome of that, where he is just always victimizing himself in the eyes of everyone around him.
Yeah.
Ooh, I hate him so much.
Yuck. He's so
Ugh.
yucky. I hate
Ugh.
him.
Yes.
Hate
I'm
him.
so glad you hate him so much. Sheridan and Antonio then, Sheridan goes back inside, because she and Luis really get nowhere. She doesn't give him an answer as to if she's going to take the out or not. So then they go back inside, and then she sits down on the couch with Antonio, and then they start to recap their entire relationship. And I wrote, even at 2 times speed, this is agonizingly slow and horrible. The whole thing. I had it at double time speed. I was watching it, and I still was like, this is such a snooze.
I didn't write anything about it. The next thing I wrote was about Beth, because I was like, I was like, we've already done this. I'm not going to write about it again.
I don't remember though. Was Pilar on board with Sheridan taking the out? Like Luis?
I think Pilar would have been okay with it. She didn't say one way or the other.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Sheridan says everybody thinks she's gonna take the out, right?
I knew she wasn't going to.
No, of course not.
I knew she wasn't gonna.
Of course not, because it also does look bad. I think Sheridan very genuinely. I think everything that Sheridan says and does in these episodes is very genuine. I don't necessarily agree with her choices, but I don't think any of it was like coming from a bad place. I think genuinely she was trying to do the right thing. Yeah. And so she says to him, your condition made me realize how tied we are to each other. I'm not going to abandon you. I could never leave you. I'll always be here for you, just like I promised. Okay, so then she turns to Luis and mouths, I'm sorry. Like, she just mouths to him, I'm sorry. And I honestly, at this point in the episodes, I was very annoyed with Sheridan. Like, I get it, but I also was annoyed. I wrote, like, I might be forced to ship Fancy and Luis because this is irritating me. I'm now rewatching this. Yeah, maybe I'm like, maybe Fancy and Luis is where it's at, because this is ridiculous. This is getting ridiculous.
Now we know why Uche can't stand Sheridan.
Is it Uche who can't stand? No, Fantasia can't stand Sheridan.
Well, they both love Beth.
They both like Beth, but I think Uche likes Sheridan. I think she also likes Beth, but Fantasia cannot stand Sheridan.
I feel like we have returned to the Sheridan of the early episodes,
100%,
where I also couldn't stand her. It's like, oh, you're so, like, Antonio is somehow more pathetic than she was even back then, but it's like on the same level of just like Eeyore sadness.
Yeah, it's a similar kind of.
It's a similar kind of thing, and I feel like Sheridan has kind of returned to that state for me in these few episodes, where it's just like, come on, girl, like, do something for yourself for once.
You're absolutely right. Yes, Sheridan has regressed. We've talked about this. Sheridan has absolutely regressed, and she's still better than she was as Diana. So
yes,
yeah, like, I feel like all of Sheridan is moving, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 4 steps forward, 2 steps back. It's just like we make progress and then we regress. But like, it's just, yeah. We get glimpses of the person that I really like in her, but not so much in these episodes.
Yeah, no.
But I do get where she's coming from, though.
I get where she's coming from. I just also feel like I said before, she has to do the hard thing, and she doesn't want to do it.
Yeah.
She always has to do the hard thing.
And she just won't do it. She won't, like, put her big girl panties on and just do it.
Well, as an aside, before she tells everyone her decision, Beth looks at her mother and says, I would make a deal with the devil himself to make sure Luis does not end up with Sheridan.
And this is not the first time she has said that.
And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, we got some magic. Again, she's doing a K.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
She's doing a K.
Absolutely. So Sheridan then has a conversation with Luis where she says, I hope you understand. And he tells her, you made your choice. You know how I feel. You're with Antonio now. All I understand is that we're not together anymore. You can't be my fiance and be with Antonio. Okay.
Fair.
Yeah.
It is fair.
How do you argue with that?
And Luis tries to leave. He's like, okay, I got to get out of here. He tries to leave. And Antonio, like, I guess hears his footsteps leaving. He's like, Luis, are you leaving? Luis? He's like, God, and Luis, God damn it, what? And he turns around and he's like, I have a favor to ask of you. Would you stay at the cottage with me and Sheridan tonight, just in case something bad happens? Go to the hospital.
Thank you. Or ask your mommy.
Well, Pilar says, no, mijo, I'll stay with you tonight.
Oh.
And he's like, no, mommy, I don't want to impose on you. But you don't mind imposing on Luis?
Yeah,
She's your mother and she
impose on my
misses you and she
brother.
loves you and she wants to spend as much time as she can with you before you drop dead. So you should let your mom come and take care of you.
Yeah.
But he insists on it being Luis. I'm telling you, I really do feel like he knows what's going on.
Okay, so I'm glad you said that because I kind of felt that same way where I was like, does Antonio know more than everyone thinks he knows? Because this seems like so pointed.
Everything is always very convenient. When he goes blind, when he gets his brain freeze.
Yeah. And now it's like, yeah, come and stay at the cottage with us, just in case something goes wrong with me.
Yeah.
Me and Sheridan.
You can sleep on the bed while we sexily saunter into the bedroom together.
Yeah,
and you can watch us close the door. Yeah, it's just
and hear us back behind there because I'm gonna be real loud.
Oh,
Sure.
I really, really hate him. And so, yeah, Pilar tries to say, let me do it. But Antonio denies her the opportunity to spend time with him. So she declines and he asks Luis why don't you want to stay with us? Why don't you want to? And before Luis can answer, because Luis was about to be like, well, actually, he was like, actually, if you really, and then of course he gets a brain freeze. He gets a brain freeze. And everybody's like, oh my God. And, everybody's like fawning all over him. Eve gives him a random pill. He takes it and he's better. And so then Luis, after that little scare, because Luis does love his brother, Luis is like, sure, I'll stay with you at the cottage tonight. Like, I just didn't want to sleep on that couch. It's so hard, blah, blah, blah. You would think because Antonio has multiple times now brought up Beth as like Luis's fiance, the woman he loves, blah blah blah. He hates that he's not been able to spend time with her. He hasn't been able to like marry her because of Antonio, blah blah blah. You would think that he would take that into consideration. Pilar don't have anybody to go home to. As far as Antonio knows, Luis and Beth were going to go home together, right? But he doesn't care. He wants to inconvenience Luis as much as possible and rub his relationship with Sheridan in his face. I really do think that.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
Yeah. So Luis agrees to stay. Pilar pulls Luis to the side and is like, please try not to be too upset with Sheridan. And he's like, this is coming from a good place. She's just trying to do right by your brother, blah, blah, blah. Sheridan, and Luis is like, yeah, I know. I do understand. I know she's a good person. I know, but this is killing me. And he's been saying that for weeks. He's been like, this is killing me. I can't. And I think another reason I'm so firmly with Luis, more firmly with Luis, is because we watched him grieve for Sheridan for so long. We really watched him grieve. Like, it was really sad, really hard to watch. He was devastated when she died. Devastated. He almost killed himself in the ocean out there searching for her in a hurricane.
Oh yeah, Aquaman.
Yeah. He kept jumping off the boat. And Maria called him Aquaman. It was hilarious. But I think that's another thing is like, he's been waiting for this for so long for Sheridan to get back. He thought he got his miracle and now it came with these strings attached. And it makes me really sad for him. It really does. Bless his little heart. So anyway, what else? Sheridan comes back, tries to explain her feelings to Luis. At this point, they're at the cottage. Luis is not hearing it. He doesn't want to talk about it. He's like, I really don't want to talk about it. I really don't want to talk about it right now. And then she kind of pushes this conversation onto him and is like, I love you. You have to know that. How can I prove it to you? And Luis is like, you had the perfect opportunity to prove it and you did nothing. Antonio gave you an out and you passed on it. He's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
And it was a hard thing, but Antonio made it a little bit easier, right? You should have been, he did give you the out.
Yeah.
You've been
all you had
wanting
to do
it
is
out.
take it.
Yeah,
All she had to do was you would look like a bitch, but maybe he would have been like, oh, well, then maybe you didn't really love me.
Yeah, and I mean, he was the one that suggested it. And his reasoning was sound, in my opinion, right? Like, I don't want you to have to watch me die. Yeah, I don't want to have to watch you die either. So, anyway, Luis says, you made your choice. Because Sheridan says, I didn't have a choice. Antonio is dying. He doesn't have much time left. I couldn't let him spend his last days alone. I could not walk away from him at a time like this. He would not be alone. Pilar would be with him. Luis would be with him. Teresa, Miguel. Y'all have an entire family he has spent no time with.
Yeah. But at the same time, his obsession with Sheridan is so crazy that that's the only person he wants to be with.
I wish
he doesn't care about the rest of his family.
I really wish he would drop dead. So anyway, he says, Luis is like, you made your choice. And Sheridan's like, no, I didn't. You know why? You know, because you are my choice. You have always been my choice. I love you. You are the only man in my heart. And then she tries to kiss him, and Luis pushes her off of him. He pulls away. He's like, stop it. I actually really liked him setting that boundary with her. I really liked it. He said, he pulled away. He said, stop it. Stop this. Oh, and she says, Luis, I love you. Come on, you have to know that. And Luis says, no, all I know is that I'm sleeping here on the couch while you're in the next room with my brother sharing the same bed. How am I supposed to take that? I mean, how is any man supposed to take that? And he goes on to say, imagine if the situation was reversed. Imagine if I were in there making love to another woman. How would that make you feel? And then she says, but I'm not going to make love to Antonio. And Luis says, Antonio loves you. He thinks that you're his fiance and he only has a short time to live. How are you going to make him, how are you going to avoid making love to him? And this is when Antonio emerges naked, basically. Like, he was like oiled down, only had a little towel around his waist. And it's like, Sheridan, you coming to bed? What's going on out here?
All blind and shit. Oh.
Yeah, he's looking for Sheridan.
When he was talking about imagine if the situation was reversed, well, technically Sheridan did see him with Beth.
Yeah, but they have had a conversation about it. And yes, she did see him with that, and she lost her fucking mind.
Yes.
She lost her entire mind. She was losing it all over Harmony. And it wasn't even real. It wasn't real.
No.
And it wasn't even real. Antonio also, when he comes out, he says some stupid shit about Beth, which I had forgotten, but I'm glad that I wrote that in my notes because I just made that point. He's like, I'm sorry you had to miss a night out with Beth. Yeah, why did you do this to your brother?
Exactly. Yeah, or you could have also invited Beth to stay as well. That would have been an extra person there in case you needed help.
He should have let his mama do it. He should be at the hospital.
He should be in the ground.
He should be in the ground. All right, y'all. We are just about ready to wrap it up. We got one last little. I just got two little pages of notes.
There was one little quip that I wanted to mention between Beth and Miss Wallace, where she was like, "Oh, you just don't get it, do you?" And she's like, "Well, it haven't been for a while, but that I don't think it's been from it. I'm messing it up."
Wait, who is Miss Wallace? Is that Beth's mom?
Yeah. She was like, well, I haven't had it for a while. Not that I don't know about it from time to time. I mean, there was that one gentleman caller, Pablo, and then Beth cuts her off, and she starts talking about like her previous love affairs.
Like, what is going on?
Hilarious.
Yeah, I was like, what is going on with this lady? All right, y'all ready to move on to trouble marriages?
Oh boy, let's do it.
You want to start with Sam and Grace or Eve and TC? I'm gonna let y'all choose.
Well, let's do Eve and TC because that's kind of because they're in the cottage with everyone.
They're in the mansion.
They're in the mansion.
It crosses over. Great.
Yeah.
All right. So after Antonio gives gives Sheridan the option to leave, Liz pulls Eve to the side and she tells her, Eve pulls Liz to the side. Eve pulls Liz to the side and tells her, this could be your chance, Liz. This could be your chance. This could be your chance to be with him. And Liz says, no, I've missed out on being the love of his life, and it's all your fault, Eve. I missed out on that. Sheridan's the love of his life, and I'll never be able to attain that because of you. And then Eve says, you know, Liz, I understand. This was great. I understand the hurt of what I did to you, leaving you alone. What I don't understand is the anger. Why are you so enraged after all these years? And she goes on to say, Liz goes on and says, why? I mean, what's the worst that could have happened? You got more oh no, it was Eve that said this. Sorry, I'm getting tired.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So she said, Eve goes on to say, why? Like, I mean, what's the worst that could have happened after I left? You got more attention in the house with mom after I left. How bad could that have been? And Liz slaps the shit out of Eve. That's the first slap. I don't have a clip of that, but I have one of the later one. So she slaps the shit out of Eve. So we know something really bad happened to Liz after Eve left, but Eve doesn't know what that thing is. As far as Eve knows, Liz is upset because Liz got left alone at their home with their parents who weren't the greatest, but it seems that they weren't like horribly abusive, probably more so repressive. Okay. So but you know, Liz is upset about something that happened to her. So Liz goes, don't you play dumb with me, Eve. You know exactly what happened after you left. You condemned me to a life of living hell. Girl, wow, that's a lot.
That was a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot. And she's talking about how she's going to expose Eve's sordid past. So people still don't know about Eve's past, is what I've gleaned.
No.
But more people are talking about exposing her past, and now including her sister.
And Liz has the proof. She has the goods. Like she walks.
Yeah.
She travels everywhere. She's been gone. She hasn't seen Eve in like 20-something years. For the last 20-something years, she has traveled everywhere with a suitcase full of shit about Eve. Like Eve's like yearbook, like stuff to prove that she knows knows Eve. And like some matchbooks and all kinds of just junk in a suitcase that she carries around with her, which is just hilarious to me. But she was like, and
she's currently staying at the Russells, in case you didn't know that.
Oh my God, TC met her at the book cafe randomly, or at the hospital. Somebody he met her
first
somewhere.
I don't remember.
I think it was the book cafe. It doesn't really matter. He met her out somewhere. She mentioned in passing that she knew Antonio and Sheridan. And he was like, well, any friend of Antonio and Sheridan's is a friend of mine. Since when? You don't fucking know Antonio.
So does TC know that Liz is Eve's sister?
Nope.
Okay. Because as far as her whole family know, like the daughters and TC, as far as they know, she has no family.
Correct.
Okay, all right, I'm up to speed. That's what I thought, but all right.
Correct.
Yeah, and so far nobody knows that that's their sisters.
Okay.
So
right.
Liz will keep talking about her sister. She just never says that it's Eve.
Believe it or not, you know who actually did figure it out?
Chad.
Antonio.
His dumb ass.
Antonio actually did figure out because Liz was like going off about this horrible woman, blah blah blah, and this and that, and there was like a few very, very clear, pointed clues that it could be Eve.
That's right.
And so Antonio asked her, "Is like, are you Liz's sister?" And TC flew off the handle. He was like, "How dare you ask my wife if she's this evil whore who's Liz's evil sister?" Yeah.
Oh no, TC is unhinged and wants to get revenge on this woman on this Liz's behalf. A woman he just met.
Yep.
Oh boy. Okay.
Crazy shit.
All right. Okay.
So, anyway, back to the present. Liz says, you really don't understand what happened to me after you left. Did you really block it out? Or you know what? Did I take this as a clip? No, I didn't.
You might have, because I think the bitch slap is coming. The second one.
Yeah. Yeah, I may have, but I'm going to read it anyway, and then I'll play the clip and whatever.
Cool.
I'll cut it if it's whatever. So Liz says, you really don't understand what happened to me after you left? Did you really block it out, or did you start to believe the story about your past that you've made up? One that, the one that you sold TC and the rest of Harmony, that you had a perfect family, a proper upbringing, you never did drugs, you never drank, and you never slept around. Did you really start to believe that, Eve? Because we both know better, right? Did you really just wipe it out completely, or did the drugs and the booze make you forget? Liz then just tries to slap her across the face, but Eve grabs that hand and says, don't you dare do that again. And then Liz uses her free hand to slap the shit out of her on the other side. And then when Eve lets go, she slaps her across the other way. So we are going to watch that clip.
Yeah.
We are going to watch that clip.
That was, that brawl.
So good.
Yeah, it's so good. It was such a good slap.
What a tasty
Yeah, I was
slap.
eating that shit up.
Please, Liz. TC could be back at any minute. Did you really just wipe it out completely? Or did the drugs and the booze make you forget? Oh, I knew that it wasn't perfect, but don't you ever do that again.
Girl, my God.
That was like closed fist. Too.
Yes.
You know, like she, like those words, like she beat her ass.
Oh my God. She is. I'm more afraid of her than TC, and he's the one with the anger issues. That bitch can fight. That bitch can fight.
Liz. She can fight, and she's also wearing the sweater of my early aughts dreams. You know what I mean? Like I love Liz. I think I'm on Team Liz.
Oh, okay.
I guess I'm not supposed to be. Right now, I enjoy it.
I think being on Team Liz is somewhat a neutral thing. I don't know. Like, I feel like I don't know that there's people who are like very, very strongly Liz is wrong, or very, very strongly Eve is wrong. I think it's like you can see you see what's going on with both of them, and you decide whose side you're on.
I love to hate Eve is really what I think a lot of it is.
And you know what? I also love to hate Eve too. I think my thing with Liz does. I know what happened to Liz. I think if I didn't know what happened to Liz, and I'm getting all of these messages that something horrible, horrible, horrible happened to her, and it's all Eve's fault. She keeps saying it's Eve's fault. Eve did something to her. Then I think I probably would be more on Liz's side. But because I know exactly what happened, for the most part, it's like, girl, it's
like
a
exaggerate
it's a reach.
much.
It's a reach.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a reach, especially for this level of vitriol. You know, it's one thing to come back and be like, you know, I hate you and I never want to see you again. It's another thing to come back and be like, I hate you. I'm going to ruin your fucking life and I'm going to beat your ass every time I get touched. It's on sight every time I see you. I'm going to beat your fucking ass. Yeah. Right? So I think I personally feel like Liz's reactions are overblown. That's my opinion.
At the end of this confrontation between the two, I have a question because I feel like I perhaps misheard something.
Okay.
Did Eve say something about, I'm sorry I left our child at home?
I think she said childhood home.
Okay. I left our childhood home. Okay, that makes more sense because I was like, what?
Because they were like teenagers when she left. Yeah.
Okay, so, all right.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Exactly. She left because it was a repressive home to her too, right?
Yeah.
Like, whatever was going on in that house was happening to her too.
Yeah, I did the exact same thing, only instead of, well, actually, I kind of did the exact same thing. I was going to say, only I went to college, but I went to college for music, so.
And also, Eve went to college too eventually, right?
Eventually.
She went to college too, and who hasn't done a few drugs, sucked a couple of dicks? Like, who
sung at a
hasn't?
couple of clubs.
Who hasn't?
Literally, I was like, oh yeah, no, I just pulled an Eve. Like, I went and did some music and drugs and men. Yeah, all right.
Sang some songs.
Yeah.
Took a couple of pills. Like,
yeah, a couple sedatives.
What else do you do in your 20s?
Yeah.
She was living the rich life because Julian was doting on her.
Yeah.
And taking her places and traveling and
yeah, she was living the life of Riley. So
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a hard time taking much issue with how Eve handled leaving home, particularly because she was basically a child herself. Right? So it's like, what was she gonna do to save you?
Yeah.
She could barely save herself. Evidenced by the fact that she left and got hooked on drugs. So
yeah.
Anyway, this is when TC comes back with a tray of coffee. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry it took so long. I had to make the coffee myself. This Crane kitchen is bigger than our whole house."
I mean, he walked in with like a Downton Abbey tray.
No, he was Barrow walking through with the,
100.
Yeah. So, later on, Eve asks Liz basically like, "What is it that you want?" Because Liz says like, "I don't want your apologies, Eve. I don't want your apology. I don't want you to help me. I don't want." And so Eve is like, "Well, then what do you want?" And Liz responds with, "Revenge." And she just starts hurling insults on her. "You're a slut. You've always been a slut. You're a drunkie, a drug addict, evil."
You're
it's
a
so
whore.
much.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great. I love it.
So then they go back to Eve's home where Liz is staying because TC just randomly invited her to stay in their garage apartment because he randomly met her and found out that she was like obsessed with revenge about her sister, whom he wouldn't tell her who she was.
Yeah.
And like the whole thing was sketchy as fuck. And so then he invited her to come and sleep where his children sleep.
He loves a revenge story, though. He loves a revenge story.
does.
He's on the same track right now.
He does.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then Liz hurls insults at her and she toys with Eve, acting like she's gonna like blow her out of the water tonight, but then she's just like, I'm gonna keep you twisting in the wind. You won't see it coming. Yeah, it was great villainy.
It was great villainy, and also that phrase, "I'm gonna blow you out of the water." Like, I feel like that is something that's so Passions. I've heard that so many times on Passions. I wish we had been keeping a tally
of all the phrases.
Like that one in particular stands out though.
Yeah. There's a few different ones that we could do like drinking games too and be fucked up.
Totally fucked up.
It's fate. Pain and suffering will come to the citizens of Harmony,
Yeah.
Anytime Ethan says, "I don't understand." And so later on, Eve has a nightmare. She's tossing and turning in her sleep, and in her nightmare, it's just how she thinks her family will react to finding out this news about her. Whitney calls her a whore. You're a hypocrite. Simone follows suit. TC like gets physical with her. So and then she wakes up. This is like the end of the last episode. She wakes up and Liz is standing in her bedroom smiling.
Yeah.
God, it was so chilling.
Creepy.
It was chilling.
Honestly, it's awesome. I mean,
and it's like Liz knew exactly what she was dreaming too.
Yeah.
Like she implanted the nightmare or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Liz is great villain. She gives great villain.
She does give great villain. She's doing her big one.
Mm-hmm.
She's doing her big one on Eve.
She's acting her ass off.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah. The actress that plays Liz is great.
She's really good.
Yeah. And honestly, I like their scenes together.
Yeah. I was genuinely like really excited to see almost the women in particular, like Ivy, Liz, Grace. Like I was like drawn to their acting choices. Sheridan, like I was no shade to the dudes, but I felt like the ladies were really like chewing up the scenery.
They were giving some good performances. Great performances.
No, and Liz needs redemption after getting used and abused by Antonio and Sheridan on the island. Like,
yeah, she's trying to grapple for what power she can get, at this point, I feel like. But all right, y'all have anything to add to that before we finish off with Sam and Grace and Ivy and David?
No, that's it for me.
All right. Moving on to this other troubled marriage, Sam and Grace. Good Lord, they are in big trouble. They're in big trouble.
Okay, so can I start with a summary of what I have learned?
Yes, I would love that.
And then fill me in.
Yeah, we'll fill you in.
All right. So David is this Nick Cage looking motherfucker who
Nick Cage. Oh my God. I love that.
Clearly is British, but is doing the worst American accent I've ever heard.
I don't think he's British.
He's
like British,
Australian.
He's like from a bunch of different places. We looked it up. And he had his accent's weird.
His accent's weird to the point that I was struggling to understand what he was saying much of the time. But what I've gathered is that Grace and Sam believe that she is legally married to David and that she has this son with him and the son is sick. And so they're taking care of him together.
Yes.
Okay, great. What's his name?
John.
David and John. All right. And because of this arrangement, Grace is not having sex with Sam. And Sam is upset about it.
Travesty.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
All right.
He's sleeping on the couch.
Great. All right. And also, everyone is finally aware that Ivy has been working behind the scenes to break up Sam and Grace because she loves Sam. However, what they don't know is that David has been hired by Ivy.
Yes.
And that it's not that John and David are not real.
Yes.
She also blackmailed Eve into faking the DNA test so that Grace believes that John is truly her son.
Yes.
And John has no clue about any of this. He believes that Grace is truly his mother.
Yes.
Oh, that's so
And there's one person that does know about David and Ivy.
Guess who it is? Guess who knows about David and Ivy?
Tabitha.
Nope.
Well, she knows.
I mean, she knows everything. She knows everything.
Wait, let me guess. Guess who knows? Rebecca.
No.
Rebecca.
Well,
I
actually,
will say Rebecca did glean it. She figured it out. Rebecca doesn't have the proof, but she has figured it out.
And she was kind of leading clues to TC, like putting the idea.
Does Hank know?
No, we don't even see Hank.
Kay knows. Kay knows, and Kay's like keeping it in her back pocket because she and Grace have been at odds for a while. And rightfully so. Grace has been.
She's been a horrible mother.
They do a very complicated thing with Kay where you're like, she's fucking horrible, but also I feel bad for her. Like, they do a very complicated thing with her wherein Grace treats her horribly. And Kay, just like not how a mother should treat her daughter, right? Like, she doesn't give her any ironically, she doesn't give her any grace.
She gives preferential treatment to Charity all the time.
And it's very clear. And at one point now, granted, Kay was pretending to be Charity, but
this is magic stuff. She transformed herself into Charity.
She thought she was talking to Charity, and she told Charity, I wish Kay was like you. I wish Kay was more like you. She was talking so much shit about Kay to Charity, but Kay, it was Kay she was talking to. It was fucked up. And like, Charity and Kay are the same age. They're children. She shouldn't be saying that shit to her at all. Regardless of if Kay can hear her or not, she shouldn't be saying that to Charity. It's actually been a lot. And like, more recently, she called her a tramp.
Yes.
Her own daughter?
Yes. Because she walked in on Kay, who was trying to seduce Miguel in a shower.
Not trying to, successfully seducing
Well,
Miguel.
they didn't sleep together.
But she said they were butt ass naked in a shower making out, and they were about to have sex.
They were. But he rejected her because Charity showed up, and he's like,
he didn't reject her. He almost got caught. So
yeah.
But then she said, crying in the shower, like bawling. Grace comes in and she's like, what did you do?
And all Grace knew was that Kay was in the shower crying. That's all she knew. That's all the real information she really had.
Yeah.
And she's like, Kay, you tramp. Okay, great. You don't even know what's going on here.
Wow.
It is complicated because Kay is wrong. Kay is wrong, but Grace is her mother, and her mother should at least try to be kind to her. She's a young girl. If nobody's going to try and gently lead her in the right direction, if her mother's not going to do it, who the fuck is going to do that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So anyway, back to the present. We're not even talking about Kay.
We just want to talk about Kay.
I just want to talk, it's just, it colors what's been going on with Grace. And yes, it is, Kay knows about David, that David is in cahoots with Ivy. I'm pretty sure she knows that John is not really her brother.
Yeah, she knows.
She knows all of this, and she hasn't decided yet if she wants to expose it, because she's starting to feel like maybe it would be better if my parents did split up, because I don't want them to be together, basically. Yeah. Because Grace, she is such a villain. She is such a villain.
But Grace doesn't deserve Sam anyway.
I can't say Grace doesn't deserve Sam. I just feel like Grace is also in a tough position. I can give her that at least. However, now, Ashley, you know what? I almost forgot. It's been months since we talked about this. So Grace and David were going to get an annulment. The papers were ready, signed, done, right? Grace told David when Father Lonigan showed up to like officiate everything and make sure everything was official. She tells him, because Father Lonigan says, like, do you swear that everything in these papers is true, blah, blah, blah. Grace knows that David loves her. And so instead of letting him just go on with the annulment, she's like, David, you have to tell the truth. Just tell the truth. Because Father Lonigan's like, do you love each other or some shit? And so Grace told him, like, no, it's about your immortal soul. You have to tell the truth. This is about your soul. You can't tell a lie. This is about your soul. And so David is pressured by Grace to say, I do love Grace. And Father Lonigan tears up the annulment papers. He's like, this annulment is null and void, even though that is not at all how it works.
No.
I looked it up. But they tore up the annulment papers because Grace pushed David to admit that he loved her, and that so that the annulment couldn't go through. But Grace's whole thing is she wants to be married in the church by the church. So if she just gets a civil divorce from him, she won't be able to remarry Sam in the church, and then they still won't have a legal marriage under God. And that's why Sam is sleeping on the couch, which is some bullshit, because they were sleeping together fine up until a little bit ago when she decided, like, oh no, I'm setting a bad example for my kids. Girl, you don't even know where the fuck your kids are. Where is Jessica? Where is Noah? It's been 4 Christmases. We still ain't seen him.
Nope.
You don't know where your kids are. You don't give a shit about them kids. You just want these 2 men.
It's 10 o'clock at night. Do you know where your kids are?
Exactly.
Nope. So anyway, dang, I keep going back.
It's all right. No, it's good. Okay, so what we haven't talked about yet is that Grace and Sam are having trouble, but I think the most important thing we see is her and David overhearing the conversation that Zaddy has with Ethan.
Exactly. Yes. So after Sam's conversation with Ethan at the wharf, he talks to Grace. Grace comes over. He doesn't realize she's been there the whole time, right? And so he's like, Grace, I've got great news, Grandma. And she doesn't take the bait, right? She's like, She puts her stank face on, and he's like, what's wrong? This is great news. Like, Ethan's and Gwen are gonna have a baby. And he also apologizes to her. He tells her, I'm sorry about the way I left things at the house. I feel like a jerk, and I said some things that I didn't mean when we argued earlier. Now, I want to say this. Sam was absolutely wrong earlier. He was wrong.
Yes, he was wrong earlier, and that's why I wanted to defend Grace. He was wrong earlier. I believe Grace was right. And then even at the wharf, like Grace, well, these men, like Grace is going to talk to Sam, but then David intercedes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like I feel like these two men are well, David is certainly intentionally causing problems.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
And Sam is just taking the bait. So
Yes.
Sam always
100%.
takes the fucking bait though.
Yes, Sam will
Yeah.
always take the bait because he's not a thinker, right?
No.
He's not,
He's not.
He's
Now we
not
know
a
where
thinker,
Ethan
like
gets
father,
it
like
from.
son, right?
He's
Yeah.
not a nimble thinker.
Yeah. No.
So yeah,
And David actually fell in love with Grace. It's no longer a job.
yeah,
He
it
fell
started
in
out
love
as a
with her.
grift. It started
Yeah.
out fully as a grift, and now he's like
Yeah.
in love with Grace. I don't know
Yeah.
what made him fall in love with her because she has been insufferable
Yes.
for months.
Yes.
But he is in love with her now. And so yeah, they then start having they have an argument after he says he says, I said some things I didn't mean earlier, and she was like, and maybe some things you did mean. And he's like, what's going on? What's this attitude? What's going on? And then he sees he's like, oh, David, and he makes a beeline for David. He's like, get out of here. What are you doing? I told you to stop hanging around my wife. And David's like, hey man. Grace is like, I came here with David, and he's like, what? Why? And she's like, the better question is, why do you want to be with me if you really want to be with Ivy? And oh my God.
Look, okay, I'm gonna defend her.
Go for it.
I'm gonna defend her. Because the fight is really about David and Ivy. So Sam is saying, David's trying to come between us. And she's like, David is my legal husband. Ivy is the person who's been trying to come between us. And now I'm over here hearing you have a conversation with your son that I accepted after all of this deception. And now I hear that you have feelings for her and that you wish you had married her. And I'm supposed to just ignore that and allow you to have a problem with my husband that I didn't even know about. I see her point. I
do see her later point. So there's two parts to this for me.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely see the point in like the double standard that she brings up to Sam 100%.
Yeah.
But the earlier part where she says, I overheard everything that you said to Ethan. And we all talked about how nothing he said to Ethan was really bad, right?
Nope.
And so but she is upset about the fact that he said that he would have married Ivy and he would not have married Grace, even though, as far as we know, he did not even know Grace when he broke up when Ivy got pregnant, right? And so she was upset about that, and I'm like, girl, that's not a fair thing to be upset about. Also, you were listening in on a private conversation. So there's that part of that too. Like that wasn't a conversation for you to hear. Period. It was a private conversation between me and my son.
I think though what really got her extremely upset, obviously they weren't the same situation. You didn't know Sam. I think is when Ethan asked if you could change anything, if you have any regrets, and he's like, and that's when he's like, I would have loved to actually raise you and actually be in your life, which again is not bad, but I guess
does she not have that same regret about John?
I know. I get it. That's where she's being a hypocrite.
Yeah. Does she not have that exact same regret about John? Yeah, he didn't say anything wrong. He says the only thing I regret is that I wasn't able to be a father to you. That's what he says.
Yeah, I agree. He didn't say anything wrong to Ethan. But where I see most of the fight taking place is the fact that Sam seems to secretly be harboring feelings for Ivy and still communicating with this woman and still allowing her to be in their lives, despite the fact that she is overwhelmingly obviously trying to not steal, because trying to break up their marriage so that she can be with Sam.
Agreed.
And Sam doesn't see anything wrong with it. Meanwhile, she has just reconciled with her long lost family, and Sam has a huge fucking problem with it.
That I do agree. Yeah.
And that I really liked seeing Grace stand up, because for a long time she just kind of went with the flow and was the perfect mom and the perfect wife. And now she's saying, hold up. Like, this is crazy and I refuse to live in this double standard. And I really respect it.
I do too. She really did bare her teeth in this, and I did
it.
like seeing her. I also liked seeing Dana be able to have something of substance to do, right?
100%.
Besides simpering and whimpering. So, but yeah, I agree. That portion of the fight, I was on Grace's side for sure, because I 100% do not understand why we are still engaging with Ivy at all.
And
Ethan is a grown-ass man.
Ethan
is a grown-ass man. Y'all don't have to communicate at all.
Yeah, and honestly, I think that, like, perhaps her response to the father-son conversation was really more about that. I mean, they didn't show us that. They didn't say it to us, but what I got from her performance was that was also driving her anger and sadness, was all the current things that were happening. And now I'm hearing this about the same fucking woman who has been plaguing us for like 30 years. Like, when is enough? Like, and you're mad that I won't have sex with you? Like,
yeah.
Well, but she's also been doing these little things that
she
doesn't need to be doing with David.
Right. And that's the thing, is I haven't seen any of those things.
Yeah.
She has done a lot with David too. That thank you, Maria. That is
I think she kissed David at one point. She's kissed him
more than once. Yeah, she's kissed David more than once. That's why Kay started getting so upset with her mom. She caught her kissing David. Grace still doesn't know that. Grace still and Kay, to Kay's credit, she still hasn't blown her mom's spot up on that.
She hasn't blown her out of the water.
She hasn't. Sam has no clue that happened and that his daughter witnessed it. Yep. Also, at one point, David was getting physical with Kay, and he left marks on her arms and everything. And Grace sided with David against Kay. Yes, and she pulled Sam over to her side
because Sam was gonna knock him out for touching his daughter.
And
rightfully so.
And he should have.
Rightfully so. But here comes Grace. No, there's a reason why you don't understand all the things that Kay was saying to me. It was horrible.
Yeah, and Kay was walking away,
and she was walking.
Yeah, and he grabbed her and was like, "No, you're gonna stand here and you're gonna listen." And it's like, you're not my dad. This is my house. And Sam comes in, he sees it. He's like, "Get your hands off my fucking daughter. What the fuck is wrong with you?"
Yeah, you're a grown man. You shouldn't be handling a fucking teenager.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be touching a child, especially if that child ain't yours. Like, what are you doing?
But Grace sides with David on that.
That's fucked up.
Against Kay. Yeah. It was very fucked up. There's been several things that Grace, like, really fucked up things that Grace has done as it pertains to David. Yeah. That either Sam doesn't know about and we as the audience do, or that he does and he has, like, accepted it, right?
Yeah.
Because, and I think part of that is because he does know that Grace has, like, eaten so much shit when it comes to Ivy. She has. So, but they're just at a tipping point.
They are clearly okay. So that's helpful to know, because I didn't know all that backstory. But it just, these two are clearly like on the brink. I don't, we know they're not going to make it through, and I see why.
No.
Yeah.
This isn't gonna last.
Bad news bears for sure.
Very.
But I liked their fight. I thought it was good. I enjoyed watching it.
It was a great fight.
Dana's awesome. She was really good.
She was. I loved seeing her really, like, lay into him and yelling at him. It's about the double standard. Is like, you can be with this woman, spend time with this woman who we know for a fact has been trying to break us up for years at this point, but I can't spend time with my son who's sick and his father, right? Like, so I did appreciate seeing some new levels from Grace.
Yeah.
But yeah, she says, I wrote this down. She says, for some obscure reason, it's all right for you to continue a relationship with Ethan's mother, a woman who's made it very clear that she wants you back and has gone to extreme measures to make that happen. But it's not all right for me to continue a relationship with John's father, a man who has done nothing to us but love me. She doesn't know. She doesn't know what's going on with him. So
yeah.
Sam says it's not the same. And she says, you know what, Sam, it's not the same because I'm not talking about wanting to marry David or choosing him over you. I just want to have a relationship with him because he's John's father. I take issue with that a little bit, though, because Sam's not talking about marrying Ivy. He said he would have married Ivy had he known she was pregnant. Reasonable thing to say. And also, Grace, maybe you're not talking about marrying him, but that's because you think you're already married to him and you are adhering to that nonsense marriage that you do not even fucking remember.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
And I don't see you moving forward with ending it. Dissolving it.
Sam has been giving her options like, we could do this, we could get a civil divorce. She's been shooting down all of the options. And it's because both of these people refuse to actually grapple with and admit the fact that they have feelings for two people. Grace absolutely is falling in love with David. And Sam never stopped loving Ivy.
And I think that's what Grace is talking about.
Yeah.
Like maybe he hasn't admitted it, but she's no dummy. She knows that he's never stopped loving Ivy. And what's that stupid word? Hurts the most.
Yeah.
Being so close. It's that.
Yeah.
She feels it.
She feels it very deeply, I think. And but yeah, both of these people want to say that they want to stay in this marriage. I think it's because it's for them in their minds, the cleanest thing is to stay married. Because they have kids, they have home, they have this life. They've been together for over 20 years. Yeah. Right? She doesn't remember David. She doesn't remember John. She knows nothing about that life previously at all. And so, yeah, it's tough for me with her like taking this marriage to him so seriously. Yeah. You don't know that man. You spent basically a lifetime with Sam. You've raised 3 kids with Sam.
Exactly.
And I don't know. And he has chosen her over and over and over again. He has
pushes
constantly
Ivy away
made
all
it clear
the time.
to Ivy that he does not want to be with her. And he has constantly made it clear to Grace that he wants to be with Grace, like that he's choosing her. However, Sam definitely still has feelings for Ivy. Definitely.
You bring up an interesting point too, which is that Grace, tell me if I'm wrong, but has no memory of her life before Sam.
Correct.
Like all she remembers is Sam.
Yeah.
You know, which I think is probably also what's driving a lot of this hurt, which is she's like, this is all I know. I don't know anything that happened before. And I'm hearing you talk about this like love of your life and, you know, all of this past and blah, blah, blah. And I can only go on what people are telling me and, you know, the life that I built with you,
but
which
David
now apparently isn't enough.
Yeah. And David is supposed to be filling her in on her past and has yet to do it.
Yeah, that's another thing. David's supposed to have been telling her about her past and who she. So far, all he can tell her is her favorite juice is grapefruit juice, which is bullshit. What the fuck? Why is your favorite juice grapefruit juice?
And doesn't she do something with the tea that she likes?
She likes honey in her tea. He knows
Honey in
she
her
likes
tea.
it. I said, who the fuck doesn't?
Oh, honey in her tea. Wow.
It was like proof that he knows her.
How singular. What a woman. Who else likes honey in their tea?
And grapefruit juice.
Yeah.
I mean, oh my God. But yeah, during all of this hullabaloo, David calls Ivy or Ivy calls David. I can't remember, but they have a conversation wherein David brings Ivy up to speed on what's going on. So Ivy, of course, powers up her power wheels to come down to the wharf.
She emerges from the smoke in like Professor X in that fucking wheelchair, and I died. I died.
Yeah.
It was so unhinged. How did she possibly get there so fast?
Listen,
It has speed, man. That's
yeah,
she
it's
put
got
it on four.
turbo shoots on the back or whatever.
I mean, and she just finished getting slapped by Teresa, so she's not hanging around there.
Yeah. Yeah. So, so after Grace leaves with David, she decides to leave with David. Because and whatever, it doesn't matter. She decides to leave with David. Ivy shows up and she's like, Sam, I heard what happened. I just want you to know this doesn't have to change anything between us or something like that. We'll always be close or something like that. He thinks that she's talking about, which she is, of course. He thinks she's talking about David and Ivy and all of that. And he's like, how did you know about that? And she's like, what are you talking about? How did you know? And she's like, what are you talking about? I thought you were talking about the grandbaby. And so, of course, she uses that as for them to be able to share kind of a tender moment about like, we're going to be grandparents together and, needle her way in some more. And she says, oh my God, she talks about how this baby could be a fresh start for her, that she can right all the wrongs that she did before with Ethan. I was like, it's not your baby to do anything with. And two, those ills are done, babe. The damage is very much done. There will be no fresh start for you in that way at all. You did a horrible thing. Live with it, lady. I'm sorry. Ivy. I'm sorry. Ivy's like, sorry to Karen. I'm going to say this, Karen. I know Ivy's your favorite girl. I know you love Ivy. I also love Ivy as a villain, but she's awful, 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 an awful woman. She's a real heinous.
Ivy lost LeTara when she drugged Whitney.
Yeah.
After that, she never went back.
So, because the last thing that I remember was Ivy kind of softening and turning into like returning to herself is what it seemed like, and kind of shedding this veneer of cranehood. And then I watched these episodes and she's full on in cahoots with Julian and Rebecca and being mean to Teresa. And I was like, what? This is like, it's like it's like we've gone back to the beginning. We have reverted. We have regressed. Like we've 5 steps forward and
3 steps back. Yeah, she's
three rotations of the wheelchair back.
She talks about, our future as grandparents and how it's going to be a new start for her, a way to make up for hurting Sam and Ethan. How would that help?
A new start.
Ain't a start.
Ain't a start.
Nope.
All right. That's my last note. Y'all have anything to add to that?
I would just like to say that Grace's son, who apparently isn't her son, has the craziest surfer voice.
Oh, God, yeah.
He's just like, I had a dream that, like, someday, like, somehow, like, you were there, like, taking care of me, and I felt so much love. Like,
I know, I definitely, like, glazed over that. We didn't even talk about when they went back, because it's not important. Like, it's not important at all.
It's not. I actually did write it down only because I was like, I feel really bad for his actual mother, who that's probably was her spirit taking care of him, and she's probably standing there like, dude, that was me, not this woman.
Yeah. No, the conversation is not important. It's just clear, like, Grace is bonding with her son, two people who think that their mother and son are bonding together, and sadly it's all a fucking lie for both of them. It's really fucked up. But he gave me like little Keanu Reeves vibes or something, and I was just like, aw, John Wick.
He was funny.
The origin.
Like, Dad,
his name's John.
His name is John. John Wick.
John. Oh my Lord.
Well, you never know.
But apparently David doesn't know how to wring a cloth. He's like, I was soaked after like these weak conversations he was having.
I said, that whole conversation, I was just like, ugh, good God. Can we?
And Grace is like, I'll always be there, just the 3 of us. And I was like, you have other children.
3 other children. Like,
you have 3 other kids and a husband you still claim to love.
Girl.
Yeah.
Grace has one foot out the door.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's clear that Sam and Grace are. I'm honestly surprised they're still together. I thought that they'd be donezo by now, but
I think their marriage actually is or was quite strong.
Yes.
Their marriage was very strong. Ivy has worked her ass. To be true, the devil works hard, but Ivy works harder.
She was working hard for 860 episodes to bring
She has
you up.
done everything she can. And this particular scheme, quite genius.
Yeah.
She thought of everything.
It's working.
It's working. And it's so specific to Grace, right? Like the only way this works is that her amnesia never wears off. Right?
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's diabolical as hell.
It is. She went and found John and brought him.
Yeah.
It's not that David showed up.
Yeah.
She went and found him and brought him, and David's like, what are you doing here?
She told John, like, that where his father was, and I believe she mentioned that he had found his mother.
Yes.
Yeah, and in John, she's just using him as a pawn. John.
So neither of these people are his parents.
No,
David is. David is.
Oh, okay.
John wasn't supposed to be involved in this, right? Like, Ivy hired David, and then she went behind David's back and included his son. And also she didn't hire him. She's blackmailing him. Apparently we never find out what the fuck he did. But the way because he constantly talks about how she's evil and terrible and Grace and Sam are good people. They don't deserve this, blah, blah, blah. Except he continues to perpetuate this fucking
because
lie.
now he's fallen in love with Grace, supposedly.
Yeah. Well, and before that, it was like, she was like, well, if your son found out what you did, he'd never want to talk to you again. Yeah. And I was like, it must be something horrible because he is doing big damage.
Yeah.
To not only to Sam and Grace, but to his own son.
His own son, who really believes that this is his mom.
Oh.
And we never really find out who she is.
Maybe he killed his real mom, and that's why.
No, that's what I think.
I think David might have killed John's real mom, and Ivy knows somehow.
I think she went down on that boat. So he says that the reason, because he doesn't have any pictures of Grace. He doesn't have any documentation about their marriage, really. He had to go to like a parish, whatever. So he says his story is his ship like sank. He had a sailboat that there was either a fire or something, but all of it was lost to the sea. Everything he had was lost to the sea. Extremely suspicious. And I wonder, was she on that boat?
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Was his wife on that boat?
Was this like an insurance grab and he didn't know she was there, or maybe he did, and
but we never find out. We can only speculate wildly.
I've decided that that's what happened.
I love it.
My theory has always been that his ex-wife was actually Grace's sister, and she ran from him because he's an abusive father and husband. That was the story I came up with.
Yeah,
that's a good one. I like that one.
Yeah. And at least that would have brought in the sister angle, because he doesn't even talk about the fact that she's a twin.
Right.
Yeah.
And that he's never met her sister?
Yeah, he never, as far as we know, he never met her sister, but he didn't know about the sister. Of course, he knew everything about Grace that Ivy knew, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So, but that's the extent of everything he knows about Grace, which is the extent of everything Grace knows about Grace.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, and since Charity is useless because she doesn't remember anything about her childhood either, she can't even really tell her about her mother.
Yeah.
These
people all have amnesia. Is crazy. It's actually,
well, they've all been drugged so many times.
Yeah. Charity not by her, Eve did a lot of that to Charity. Remember, she kept her like
trying to
in
keep
the
her
hospital
quiet.
sedated in a padded room.
Yeah.
Oh, All right. Well, y'all, it's 9:00. I told you I'd be done by 9. So we've been at this for hours and hours. Thank you so much, both of you, for being here, for sticking it out. I had a blast. I had so much fun talking about passion.
I love being able to catch up with Laura too and rehash the story a little bit to talk about what had happened. And I love her face because she's all like, "What?"
Yeah.
I appreciate you taking the time to catch me up because there's definitely some knowledge gaps there.
Yes, of course, always. So before we go, remember everybody, you can find me on the Patreon, patreon.com/passionspodcast. You also can go over to passionspodcast.com if you want to buy some merch, or if you just want to check out anything that's about the podcast, or if you want to buy my music, or if you want to buy some art from Naya. Maria, where can the people find you?
You can find me on the Discord, or you can email me at gwenfan329@aol.com.
All right, and Laura would prefer it if you did not find her. So
I'm a ghost. Yeah. I'm a ghost. You won't find me.
You're a ghost baby. She's a ghost baby.
I'm a ghost baby.
Oh,
so with that, you are my passion for life.